we understand that he has not come back to Abuja.
Yes, the president.
Is there any problem?
The president is in Lagos, and I'm sure beyond the pictures, you know that the president has been busy with state matters. You will know the last 10 days, right from the attack in Jos, we've seen the developments, and the president has been busy taking constant briefs, and he has to prioritize when it comes to state matters, especially security. So he's in Lagos there, monitoring developments, working with the intelligence community, and taking constant security briefs.
So it's safe to say maybe...
Taking constant security briefs.
So it's safe to say maybe... So when you say security briefs, is that the reason why he was not there at that commission? Because he's been scheduled. And your office had come out to say last week to list all the president's itinerary for the week.
A list is the issue of security. When you look at the fact that from Jos, Kaduna, Niger, we have seen developments that are unpleasant, the president has decided to make sure that he's giving constant briefs, working the phones, and also meeting and engaging, because decisions have to be taken in a timely fashion, and that can be done in the absence of the Commander-in-Chief of the Armed Forces.
So today we saw how Niger communities were, these terrorists just ransacked and killed, destroyed properties in that Niger community. Is there anything coming from the presidency on assurances of safety of lives and citizens?
Absolutely, on a constant basis. I think that if we take off from what the president said in Jos, when he talked about the fact that we will win this war against terrorists. When you look at what has happened in Kaduna, for instance, on Easter Sunday, where the terrorists got a hot pursuit, 39 people captured, were recovered. When we look at the various operations, Operation Hadankai, taking place, Operation Safe Haven, all the corridors and theaters of war, you see a president that places primacy on ensuring that our security men and women are alert and following through. We have seen the theaters of war. We have seen counterinsurgencies. We have seen the intelligence sharing and quick reaction to these developments as they come.
Does it not concern this government when it does look at terrorism making a mockery of the president promised, for example, to people on Plateau State and said, look, this will never happen again? And just the president had hardly left the atmosphere, and the air of Plateau State had hardly simmered around him when there is another attack.
Shaun, you know that the insecurity this country is facing now predates this president. You've been here as a reporter. We're looking at 5 presidents' ends. And I keep saying it, when it comes to insecurity, there's no silver bullet. What is important is, what is the government doing about it? Yes, it wasn't just. We've seen our security forces deploy. We've seen the different layers of security connect. We've seen efforts. We've seen terrorist leaders being killed, neutralized. That is ongoing. Of course, these attacks do occur, but we've also seen over time there's a confinement to the north-central corridor. When you look at it in the last 3 months, there's a confinement, and that's because in the northeast-northwest corridor, there's been very successful counterinsurgencies. So they're moving through Birnin Kebbi, moving to Niger, moving to Kwara, and those have become the centers of operation. And our intelligence and our security forces are following through. I think the work of the president is clearly stated and done, to provide that leadership, to provide the resources, to provide the equipment, but also provide assurances. The president wants this to stop, but that's what he did in Jos. He made that assurance. It doesn't mean that immediately all of it is seized. Governance, statecraft,
so can we, like that. As a leader, when he says this will never happen again,
that's because he knows.
Can we take his word for it?
You can take his word, and I think he said the president also said that based on the fact that he is abreast of the commitment of resources, abreast of the firepower, the use of technology, the Alpha jets, the Toscano jets, is abreast of what the intelligence community has been able to achieve. And he knows with all of this, that assurance led him to also give that promise.
So can Nigerians take the president for his word?
Absolutely.
In terms of security?
Yes, they can.
And I'm giving you an example. I mean,
so they can take him for his word.
Mr. Dare, put it on the table. The president said, look, this will never happen again.
Yes.
In less than 24 hours, it did happen. People were killed again in that same state. No, I'm not even talking about what happened in Niger.
Is there any...
Are we drowning or we are winning?
We're winning. We're winning.
The figure says otherwise, Mr. Dare.
No, but I can also give you...
This year alone...
I can give you another figure. You know, for every figure or data, there's another data, and there's a counter data. And I can give you data. This year alone, in the last 3 months or so, 67 top terrorists neutralized. Between last year and this year, over 700. Just yesterday, 500 hardened terrorists were brought to the Federal High Court in Abuja to be prosecuted. So the mop-up is ongoing. The neutralization is ongoing.